So the way I like thinking about SEO is broadly, a 10,000 foot overview is that there are three aspects to it, three types, three things you should think of in SEO. You can either create new or publish new pages. Every page you publish is a bet that, hey, if I publish this page for this keyword, targeting this keyword, I will show up on this keyword. And now, if I show up on this keyword, the people who search for it will come to my website. And then when they do, they will look at the website and they'll maybe buy something from me, right? Like that's basically the first thing, creating or publishing pages. The second piece is like the backlinking part. So, for example, when you are taking these bets on publishing pages, you can, depending on how authoritative or how much confidence does Google have on your website, you are likely or not likely to ever able to show up on some on some keyword or to rank for some keyword, right? For example, let's say if I start a new HR tech company today, there is no way I'll rank on top HRM solutions for the next 3 4 years unless I even if I spend a lot of money on SEO, and it'll be very hard to beat them for a couple of years. Takes that long, right? So backlinking off-page stuff gives signals to Google that, hey, this website is a good website. I can trust it. They have a lot of authority. So it just lets you take bigger bets. The second piece of it. The third piece is the tech aspect, that's tech piece of it. So tech, the way I like thinking about it is good tech SEO does nothing. Whereas bad tech SEO holds you back. So if for some reason, like maybe Google couldn't crawl it, couldn't understand your page as well, couldn't understand what your page was about as well because of tech SEO. Um, so it's sort of, you should have been getting, let's say, 100 leads a month. Because your tech SEO wasn't good, you were getting 80. So if you fix it, you would get back to 100. Right? So that's broadly all of SEO. Now, AI search optimization, AU, GEO, what do you want to call it, is not that, right? Um, but there are parallels. Let's talk about parallels, and then let's talk about a few other things, right? So let's talk about, let's say, content creation, right? Now, in content creation for SEO, you have to think purely about keywords. There is a keyword, there's a rank. Can I rank? If I can rank, what kind of a page will I need? How many backlinks will I need to rank for this keyword? That's all of content strategy, right? You don't like you yeah, you can make it a little bit more. There are different ways to do it. There's skyscrapers, and then there's a lot of different ways to think about this. There are tools that can help you do this, but a good content strategy just basically does this. Hey, which are the keywords that I want to rank for and I can rank for? Can I find them? Can I create those pages that can rank for those pages for those keywords? And then if you need any blogs, sorry, backlinks, or if you need any internal links or whatever, can I add all of that stuff? Right? That's how you do content strategy for SEO. But it's very keyword dependent. Like, and keyword is like, hey, what should I write about? Whereas in AI search optimization, um, once LLMs find your page, it's less about that and more about what information could they find on your website. So instead of thinking of keywords, you're not now thinking of information, right? So there is a when you create content, you say, hey, what is something that no one has covered till now, right? Like even if it's the same topic, same keyword, same everything, what is an angle? What is a piece of information on the exact same topic that no one has covered till now? Right now, it seems like a small change. It's a huge change in the way you would cover things because a lot of the SEO content strategy dependent on like content writers, or I would almost say quote unquote content writers, were actually content summarizers, right? They would just like all of SEO content writing was okay, go on the internet, look at what other people have written and rewrite that, restructure it, and put it on your blog. That entire playbook cannot work for AI search or it will not work as well because you're literally trying to optimize for, hey, can I give it net new information, right? Now, that means you now more than ever need a process where content teams, one, are trained to interview the right people in companies. Right? They're trained to be able to extract information that is not just written on other blogs. That's one. But apart from that, um, content teams also get access to like both resources and anything else they need to speak with these people, right? Speak with subject matter experts, maybe interview the right people, right? So that is another that changes too much. It seems like a small shift, but it's actually a much larger shift. Although there are ways to sort of create content that is both optimized for SEO and AI search, you can very well do that, but then you have to think of them separately, right? That's on the keyword research part. Should we go to backlinking or should we go to tech next?
Let's go to backlinking.
Perfect. Okay. So on the backlinking part, with SEO, right? We focus on things like, hey, what is the anchor text? What is the domain authority? What is the topic of the blog, right? And even if, let's say, a great website says a few things and then they just link to our us, literally just because, let's say, if I write an article that is really good, and then only in the author bio is the link to my website, it's still a good backlink, right? Or even if someone says shit about me on a blog and links to us, it's still a good backlink. It's a good domain, good link. Great. Right? Like even negative PR could lead to a lot of like um, net positive value because of backlinking. Now, with AI search, that's not the case. With AI search, you don't really care about the link because AI's LLM search has a search function and an LLM function. The LLM function can actually read a page and understand what is written. Right now, so if it's understanding what is written and it cares about that more than, hey, are you linked? Which means what is written about you is more important. If there's a listicle, are you there on position 10 or are you there in position 1? Or things like, hey, is the best for section in the listicle? Have they written the right things about? Like, are you really the best for what they've written? Is it true? Is that who you are targeting or is it someone else? So those things start mattering, right? So it's much more different. But again, just like content creation, you could have a joint strategy that takes care of both backlinking for this and LLM search at the same time, but it's different. And finally, if you look at tech SEO, I'll not go too into it, but it's just a lot of it's checklist after checklist of things you should do. How does Google look at your page? Does it use to understand? There's a few things that are more important, few things that are less important. Now the funny part is, so we have documentation of actually what a ChatGPT looks at, how it changes the page. So it not going too deep in Google aspect, but let's go into ChatGPT aspect. So we have actual documentation that how what does ChatGPT convert your page into, right? Internally, we're also testing like our CTO Harsh has tested creating almost like a mock-up or recreating what ChatGPT does to a page to see what ChatGPT sees. Now the fun part is even though the format that it finally looks at a page in is different from SEO, um, there are a lot of similarities. First of all, with tech SEO, Google really needs the schema elements and the technical elements to understand a page. ChatGPT needs fewer of those, but um, it really uses, for example, a heading tag is actually looks like an underline in what ChatGPT sees. So things like that, still using similar tags to see things, right? But it's a lot more forgiving. Just because a document, like some text isn't underlined in a document, doesn't mean you'll not read it. So ChatGPT is a lot more forgiving in tech aspects than SEO. The only thing which is it's a lot less forgiving in is let's say a JavaScript page. Google does not index those really easily, right? But it can still has the ability to. Whereas something like ChatGPT just says, "Hey, I'm not going to do it." Right? Just like, "Hey, I just don't have the capabilities. I'm not going to do it." And it's also very expensive to look at a JavaScript-based page. So that's, I think, so with technical SEO, that's probably the most important thing. So technical AI search optimization, that's probably the most important thing. Just don't have a JavaScript page. That is by far the most important thing to consider. Apart from that, what else? I think we've covered this.
Yes.
Um, and then I think we're left with we've done tech, we've done backlinking, and we've done content. Yeah, so I think we've covered all three, right? Just one major, yeah, yeah. Guneet, do you have a question? Okay, so one major thing that I think we need to remember is uh, SEO is all about the website, right? Like, hey, what do you do on the website is what SEO does. Like, even if you're doing backlinking, the only reason you're doing backlinking is because then it adds value to your website. SEO as a function does not look at anything but or does not care about anything but your website. Whereas AI search optimization, even if the piece of information is on Reddit, it's on a post, it's on a different blog. If it's still the information about it's in a PR. If the information about you is correct on some other place, it still counts as good information, right? Like
Got
it doesn't matter. Like I would almost encourage that, and that's going to be a big unlearning. Like if you are an SEO that's also wants to do AI, so you will have to sort of almost ditch the website on purpose a few times, and that's going to feel a little uncomfortable. But yeah, you could.